Hey everybody, I'm Bankle Monkey, and have you ever been so frustrated it's near impossible to focus? That is me today. I wanted to talk about Super Mario All-Stars today, and I'm gonna. But after a game night with the fandom the other night, it's been really hard to focus.
Oh, come on. It wasn't that bad.
I don't want to talk about it.
Hey, don't be a sore loser now.
So Super Mario All-Stars. Nintendo decided to fill the gap year between Super Mario Kart and Yoshi's Island with a compilation of all the NES Mario games with updated graphics. No longer limited by the NES, they were able to cram Super Mario Bros., Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario Bros. 3, and the Lost Levels on one cartridge. Ugh, right. This is the Lost Levels debut outside of Japan. Fortunately, they were able to add in a save system, so for Super Mario 1, 2, and 3, you can save and start at the beginning of whatever world you were last on. And in the Lost Levels, you can save per level you're on, finally making that game accessible to everyone. But that game still just makes me feel so... Ugh.
At least the lost levels weren't included in...
Nope, I don't want to talk about it. They even went out of their way to keep the game physics as close as possible to the original. For better or worse. And the music and the graphics got a 16-bit overhaul that maintains the charm of the original. So now you can watch Shy Guys drown in quicksand in far greater detail.
Are you okay?
Just fine, thanks for asking. Nintendo re-released the game the next year with Super Mario World included, and I just wanted to mention All-Stars, because it's a nice way to play the classic games. But I can't put a compilation on the ranking list, it's just a remake of old games. So I guess that's it? Thank you all for watching?
Nah. We're not done here.
Yeah, you got some things to work out here.
Let your feelings flow out of you.
We're here to support you on your healing journey.
We played Monopoly Super Mario Celebration the other night, and I have some thoughts. First, if you've never heard of Monopoly, or if the last time you played it you were 7 and your grandma dirty dealed her way to the top,
I'm about to end this man's whole career.
here's a quick refresher. Monopoly is a board game where you buy and sell property. You can add houses and hotels to your property to add to their value. And when a player lands on a property owned by another player, they must pay them rent for daring to exist.
Oh, get off my lawn!
Your goal in the game is to charge other players so much for rent that you drive them into bankruptcy. Charming. There are chance and community chess spaces that add an element of luck to the game. Maybe you'll get a windfall of cash. Or maybe you'll get busted for tax evasion and end up in jail. Jail, where you can still collect rent and expand your empire by building more houses and hotels. Sure, why not? Sounds like a blast, right? It's adulting, the game. Any game that has a section of instructions for mortgaging property doesn't sound like much of a game to me. So what do we do with this cutthroat real estate game where you try to force your friends into abject poverty? Let's cover it with a fresh coat of Mario paint. You know, for the kiddos! And to be fair, it's a very nice coat of Mario paint. The board definitely has that Mario flair. There's a battery-operated question block, and the player pieces are made of metal, and individually, they all look great. But as a set, you've got a Koopa shell that looks a lot like the mushroom, that looks a lot like the Yoshi egg, so that can cause some confusion on the board. Your usual Park Places and Marvin Garden properties have been swapped for catchier locales inside the Marioverse, like World 1-1, World 1-2, and the rest are locations throughout Mario's mainline games with, real names. They've, for the most part, done a good job of picking the more iconic locations from the video games, but there's a few I question. Lethal Lava Land over Bob-omb Battlefield? I don't think so. A few spaces retain their classic Monopoly look, like free parking and go to jail, but they totally could have made this one the judge from Mario Sunshine, and that would have been hilarious. But otherwise, it's a shrunken version of a standard Monopoly board with 16 properties compared to the original's 22, plus the 4 railroads. I guess when you have warp pipes, you don't need mass transit. The 2 utility spots have been replaced with Bowser Jr. and Magic Koopa, and, buying, selling, and trading people just generally makes me uncomfortable. But the second you start this friggin' board game, you're going to be buying everything you land on. Every game is represented in 2 properties marked with the same color on the board. Super Mario 1 is brown, Super Mario World is light blue, etc., etc. The properties get more and more expensive as you cross the board, so World 1-1 might only cost you 1 coin, but New Donk City is going to cost you 5. And the rent you pay for landing on a spot is the same as the property cost. So if you are unfortunate enough not to own New Donk City and land on it, you just lost 5 coins. Now, 5 coins doesn't sound like much, but this game starts out far more stingy than regular Monopoly. The instructions say that the bank hands out 5 1-coin tokens and 5 5-coin tokens. That's 30 coins to start with, so losing 5 is no laughing matter. And while we're mentioning them, compared to the rest of the game, the coins are pretty crappy. They're just punched out cardboard pieces, and compared to the quality of everything else, they stand out as kinda cheap. So, trying to own the most property sounds like the best way to nickel and coin the other players. But property goes really fast when there's only 16 properties and up to 6 players. And if people start getting entire color sets of properties, that's when the game gets real. For example, if someone owns the Comet Observatory and Bowser's Galaxy Reactor, the rent for landing on either of those spots just doubled from 3 to 6. This is way easier in Mario Monopoly than you might remember it being in regular Monopoly, because you only have to own 2 properties to have a color set instead of 3. So this happens very quickly, and the game goes from being fun to business. More money can be spent to put toad houses on the color set properties, causing the rent that was already doubled to go up even more for every toad house on it.
Keep the change. Roadhouse.
The toad house pieces look cute, but they're hard to hold on to, and they're pretty top heavy and round, so they like to roll all over the board. And if the dice hit the board just right, they'll just fall over and roll away. There's some serious design flaws here, but none bigger than 4 being the maximum number of toad houses you can have on any one property, but you can't fit 4 of them on the part of the space that's designated for them. And if you manage to get 4 toad houses on a space, you can pay and upgrade it to Peach's Castle, which jumps the cost of rent astronomically. Back to the Comet Observatory example, a castle jumps the rent up to 25 coins. May I remind you, you started the game with 30.
You know what they say, you gotta spend money to make money.
Yeah, but if everyone starts with only 30 coins, there's a very finite amount of money going around.
Well, maybe people should pick up a part-time job to make ends meet.
Yeah, quit buying all that mushroom toast.
I guess that's where the community chest and question block spaces come in. If you land on a community chest space, you take the top card from the community chest deck and deal with whatever outcome the mushroom gods provide. You might get moved into a different space, or get hit by a Koopa shell and have to pay the bank some money. It also might just send you straight to jail, which if that happens at the beginning of the game, might ruin your chances for the entire game. Because if you're stuck in jail, you can't land on properties to buy. And if you can't buy properties, you constantly have to pay rent whenever you land on another player's properties.
Rent?
And getting out of jail is no easy feat either. I mean, if you have a get out of jail free card, it's easy, but if not, you either have to pay 5 coins or roll a 6. But if you roll a 6, that's your roll for the turn too, and you always land on a community chest space when you get out of jail. And then you draw a card and you can get sent right back to jail. This game, I swear to God. Good things come out of the community chest as well, for the record. Like getting 1 coin for helping Rosalina save the entire galaxy. 1 coin. Seriously, it's almost always just 1 coin. Saving the galaxy and helping the mother penguin find her baby pays out exactly the same.
You got something against penguins?
No, it's just the compensation seems a little off is all. And some of the things you get compensated for are actually pretty funny. Like successfully scaring off a shy guy. It wasn't that hard. That's some solid flavor text. You trap a dry bones in quicksand. It's extra dry now. And that's some excellent dry humor. You can also land on a question block space, which has you press the question block. It makes different noises, depending on how benevolent it's feeling that day. It can make a coin ping noise, and depending on how many pings it makes, you get that many coins from the bank. If it makes the power-up noise, you get to roll the dice again. If it makes a Bowser laugh sound, you have to pay the bank 5 coins. And worst of all, if it does what the instructions call the game over jingle, which is actually the lose a life jingle, you pay the bank 10 coins. But my real point is, the coin pool doesn't get bigger very easily. Even the classic passing go stipend is down to 2 coins, and money disappears into the bank more readily than it changes hands among players. 2 coins here for stepping on a piranha plant, 1 coin for a bad community chest card, and every time you buy anything, it goes to the bank. There's just not a constant reliable income stream built into this game. Kinda like YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, and check out our Patreon. Y'all, this isn't even all the rules yet. Like, we just went through the rules for when things are going well. We haven't even touched the rules for when things are bad. That's right, going to jail isn't that bad. So say all the properties have been bought, people have loaded the spaces with houses and castles, and you have the audacity to land on one of those housed-up spaces. You're out of money, because you've given it all to the bank, also buying toad houses and castles, trying to trap other players into paying higher and higher rent. Where are you going to get the money to pay? You can try to sell properties you own, but you can't sell them if they have any buildings on them. You gotta sell those houses right back to the bank first, for half the price you paid for them. Why do toad houses and castles, freaking castles, depreciate so badly? If you didn't make your money back by creating a new housing crisis, now you gotta try to sell your properties. And if nobody wants to buy your Yoshi's Island, you're stuck mortgaging it. Mortgages. In a game for ages 8 and up. The hell, Monopoly? So every property has a mortgage value that you can get from the bank. And they're all terrible. Honestly, the most you can get is 3 coins for a property you bought for 5. You flip the deed over to show that it's been mortgaged, and you can no longer receive rent money from other players landing on that property. So it's all but dead, and you need a windfall of maybe passing go or a community chest card to pay the unmortgage fee just so you can maybe get rent off someone else to help pull you out of the financial hole you dug yourself into. And this is how the game goes until someone is the last one standing, taking every single coin from everyone else, leaving them to beg on the streets of Delfino Plaza forevermore. But what I hate the most about this game is what it does to a person. Friends turn on friends. It makes you see their suffering as you winning. It's not a game about you wanting to do your best. It's a game where you want to make everyone else suffer. Basically, it reminds me way too much of real-life adult stuff to ever want to play this for fun. But you know who never has any money problems in this game? Who doesn't have to worry about paying rent or stubbing their toe on a spiny shell? The bank. They have free reign of the game, gleefully taking every player's money from community chests, boo-boos, and mortgages, and selling players houses they don't need. My god, the bank is really the winner every time, isn't it? Maybe the real way to win is we all turn on the bank, refuse to buy their properties, and just try to stall the game out until all money has been depleted from the bank, causing them to go bankrupt. Only then can those who tip the scale in their own favor be defeated.
The top 1% would never go for it, or they'd print more money until the coin became completely worthless.
And guess who played the banker when we played?
Oh, but really, it wasn't that bad of a time.
And guess who won? So, maybe I really just hate Monopoly. But this Mario version of it does nothing to make it any better. And the more I think about it, the more tired I get with Mario. And as much as I'd love to make the next video be Jumpman's jump into 3D, I think it's time to move back to Sonic. I need a breather. So join us next time as we watch Sonic make the jump to 3D. Well, at least partway. In Sonic 3D Blast. Thank you all so much for listening to me rant about a board game. Maybe we'll do this again sometime with another board game if y'all enjoyed it. And if you did enjoy it, I'd love it if you hit that like and or subscribe button. And be sure to ring the bell for updates on when new videos come out. And as always, have a good one. It worked like a charm. See you soon, Binkle Monkey. See you real soon.